Good morning. I'm very happy to welcome you all to today's Nordic Talk. I would like to share some facts about Danish innovation, robotics, and AI application in business. Denmark was not digital in a day. However, we took the necessary steps to become the most digital country in Europe. Digitalization is a vital part of modernizing and creating a more efficient public sector. Denmark has a long history of public-private partnerships and a deeply founded trust between citizens, businesses, and the government. This creates productivity and growth in the private sector, and today few projects are handled by the government on their own. The private sector has been key to digitalization. Denmark has an advanced and high-tech ecosystem within robotics and drones. This knowledge, in combination with the large market of SMEs and larger companies with a need to digitalize and automate, make Denmark an interesting playground for development of intelligent robotics, drones, and automation solutions. Odense Robotics is now home to several unicorns and Europe's only gold-certified robotics cluster. Denmark's new robot automation and drone cluster brings together the entire ecosystem to drive innovation and growth in the industry nationwide. The digital age creates enormous opportunities for economic growth, sustainable development, and innovative solutions across the world. However, technologies also create new challenges and divide. On a global scale, unequal digitalization could lead to growing inequalities and ultimately new causes of conflict, extremism, and radicalization. Denmark is one of the world's most digitalized democracies, which is a great opportunity to promote a human rights-based approach to digital development. We just launched a strategy for Danish tech diplomacy with our tech ambassador and her team. Our goal is to ensure that technology strengthens democracy and digitalized resilience. This strategy approach includes working with the global tech industry to encourage ethical behavior, democratic values, and human rights. Robotics is also one of Denmark's fastest growing industries. Within a few years, Denmark has established one of the leading robotics and automation industries in the world, consisting of 292 companies across the country. Research, development, and production for the global market have already created 8,500 direct jobs and annual exports of more than 10 billion Danish kroner. Including sub-suppliers, the industry today employs more than 18,000 full-time employees and generates a revenue of 28 billion Danish kroner. Our growth is expected to be more than 30% annually until 2025. We thus believe that there's a great potential to explore, but we need to do this together in partnerships across public and private sectors, research institutions, and universities, in line with my favorite SDG number 17. I wish you all a very fruitful and inspiring Nordic talk, and now I would like to give the floor to Leila Arsan, today's moderator. Leila, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annette. So good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be one of the moderators in Nordic Talks, Digital Denmark, Robotics and AI Applications in Business, with so distinguished people working and making research on technology. Thank you to the Denmark and Istanbul team and Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Denmark. Because of the pandemic, we are all in different places, home, and I'm joining you from countryside outdoor. You might hear some external voices, but mostly the birds. We live in an exceptional time and still trying to develop technology and innovation by struggling within the current pandemic conditions, by being more sustainable and resilient. In this way, to advance and enhance our knowledge and digitization, especially in high-tech and key areas like artificial intelligence, so we call it shortly AI, and robotics. So these are becoming much more important than ever these days. And recently, European Commission published European Strategy on AI, which proposes new rules and actions considering the risks, unacceptable risks, depending on the rights of people, some high risks and strict obligations to be more human-centric, sustainable, secure, inclusive, and trustworthy. So the advancements should be made on data sharing from lab to market. AI works for people, high impact sectors and tech like health, and EU approach to new machinery products. The machinery products are, for example, robots, cobots to lawn mowers, 3D printers to construction machines, and industrial production lines. For example, I'm the CEO of Ticaret, an innovation consulting company. That recently, we are also working on Industry 4.0, an AI-based project. One of these projects is called FACLOG. It's a European Union funded research project, energy-aware factory analytics for process industries, which is driven by several specific yet indicative business cases and the process industry, and focuses its innovation regarding analytics, AI and optimization on the deployment and assessment of coherent and enhanced cognitive twins. So it's the next step to digital twins for the specific sectors represented in our project FACLOG. And there are some pilots, the plans to be tested and evaluated the projects. So like this, we will today not only talk about AI and robotics, but we will also talk about, we will enhance our talks with thinking more on how can we act towards the sustainable development from an industrial point of view in a post-COVID-19 era, and how can we inspire other businesses, organizations, and students to act towards more innovative and digital solutions. So more to be inspired by Denmark and how we can collaborate more with Turkish companies and inspire Turkish companies, businesses, and collaborate some new Denmark and Turkish businesses and technology partnerships. So at this point, I would like to give the stage to our distinguished speakers. So our first speaker, I am happy to introduce Mr. Candan Özgürgök. He is the country manager for Universal Robots Turkey and MEA, graduated from Eskişehir Osman Gazi University Mining Engineering and Mechanical Engineering as the second major in 2003. So Candan Özgürgök completed his MBA in Business Administration at Gebze Technical University in 2011. And after a broad experience in various positions, he specialized in robotic automation industry at leading local and international companies, working about 15 years in robotic automation, mechatronics, pneumatics, and hydraulics. The world's #1 manufacturer of robots, Universal Robots of Turkey, Robots Turkey assumed that the task of setting up the center 2017 in Turkey. So he also became in charge of Greece, Israel, and Middle East countries. So I'm very happy to introduce to you Mr. Kandan Özgür Gök. Please, the stage is yours.
Hello, thank you very much, Ms. Lelia, and also hello to all very valuable audience and also Nordic Talks speakers. Actually, I'm very glad to be here today, and also thanks to also Nordic Talks platform and also Royal Danish Consulate General in Istanbul. So today I'm going to share with you Cobot and its environment by referring flashback today and tomorrow. So I would like to start with the first video with you. Let's start with that.
Making a difference. Each day, Universal Robots is changing how people work and live by empowering ideas using collaborative robots. Cultural norms in India meant women were often bypassed for physically demanding jobs, keeping them dependent on husbands or in poverty. Today, our cobots help women in automotive companies perform these jobs while attaining financial independence. A non-profit had a dream to help people in the poorest countries regain their vision after cataract surgery. Using cobots, the organization today produces over 2 million intraocular lenses annually, while also growing from a team of 10 people to over 700. A vehicle component manufacturer in Korea employed cobots to reduce the worker fatigue that led to errors and serious injury, and saw a 31% increase in worker productivity. Concerned about the environmental impact of production waste, a company in Italy turned to cobots to completely remove human error from its process and reduce waste for a cleaner planet. Wherever you find people and their dreams for transformation, you'll find Universal Robots. Our cobots are at the forefront of transforming the way we work and improving the quality of life for people around the globe. Universal Robots, empowering people.
Yes, we connect the human skills and also advanced technology by empowering people and also providing the efficient manufacturing. And also our main aim is to making the automation accessible to all companies, which is all size of business in any industry. So what is the Cobot? Cobot is a collaborative robot, comes from the collaborative and the robot words. So we have two families for the collaborative products, and also it is a tool for us to empowering the people and also to provide the excellence of manufacturing. So these are our actually e-service family that you can see, and they are classified with their payload and also reduce reachability on this basement. And as you can see here, we have the products from payload 3 kilograms to up to 16 kilograms, and also 500 millimeters to 1.3 millimeters in reduced reachability. So collaborative means for us, actually there are 4 pillars. And I will share with the details with the second video about these main pillars with you. The first one is the phase setup, and this phase setup is important because the collaborative robot is delivered by toolbox, and this toolbox also it is very lightweight and compact version. It is established in less than 60 minutes, and also it is powered by powered by 230 volts. And also the second pillars for us is the flexible deployment. Cobots can be also deployed easily by manually or autonomous robots. So thanks for these specialties, robots can be used on different tasks in the same environment or in the same factory by changing its end of arm. So the third one also is the programming, and programming also can be done by a touchable pendant or by moving hand. And with these specialties, one pick and place application, as an example, can be done in a couple of minutes. So the last one also is to be safe. The cobots, universal robots cobots, has 17 safety functions, can be adjusted due to the risk analysis, and can be used for production or any other environment. And for example, one of these specialties is force limiting. When the robot is running, when there is some object accidentally, set it, so it stop, and if it likes to be continued, it's continued. So here I would like to share also about the Universal Robot brief story. Actually, Universal Robot is a forerunner industrial company, an innovative company established in 2005 in Denmark, Odense. And year to year, developed so many new products and also environment. And also, due to its DNA and values, makes itself a market leadership on the collaborative industry. The first cobot has been installed in the world 2008, which is supplied by Universal Robots. And we have reached to 50,000 cobots at the end of 2020. So actually, as a forefront on innovation company, as a Universal Robots has been awarded so many important platforms during the years. So we had two headquarters in Denmark and also USA in Boston. Also, we have really big coverage around the world, and we are providing our service to end user through our partners like distributors and system integrators in all around the world. And SND forefront technology company and producing the cobots and also creating the environments, the collaborative robot industry, Universal Robot has the between 50 to 60% market share. Yeah, as we talk, we are in the pandemic period, and so many challenging also occurred, and also this changing already has started, but also this pandemic is accelerating. So what we are challenging with in generally for these changings like markets and also employments and also face of the manufacturing, I would like to share these informations with you on our perspective. As we all know, markets demand change because of the customization, and high mix and low volume of the products is affecting the also, this is market demand, and this also provides the digitalization, gives the shorter product lifetime, and also is combined with the consistency, and as there every time faster delivery is required by end users and in the environment. For the collaborative robot side, employment also is very important key factor. Why it is? Because due to the ERF report, there's a shortage on the skills shortage on the market, and also now due to the new technologies create the new jobs, and also only just 10% of the jobs are fully automatable, and as a lastly 50% increase productivity possible without any job losses. So these are the facts that changing also face of the manufacturing. And if we talk about the new concept, flexibility, mobility, which refers to relocatable, and also human factor is getting more and more important, and that's why frequent interaction is getting also very crucial for us. And shared space, for any reason, to be one of the reasons to be in part of the human or productivity, shared space is the one of the crucial item that we are going to get. and also due to the mixed product and low volume, frequent change should be adapted with the new phase of the manufacture. With those all technologies and needs, of course, changing the way of the transformation for the automation. And also due to that fact, also conventional automation and robotics also changing to collaborative robots industry. As we talk about the phase of the changing with the manufacturing, actually, we can say that 100% fit with the collaborative robots environment and the technology, like fast setup, anyone can program, flexible deployment, limited space requirement, and also to working with the human if it is needed, and totally also when we can say that the return of investment is less, and also implementation cost of the collaborative robots is lower than conventional industrial robots and the automation systems. So these products, what are they are using for? I can tell you it is any kind of application like packaging, palletizing, gluing, dispensing, welding, injection molding, secret driving, machine tending, assembly, pick and place, and also quality inspection. As I said that all sides of industries, business and any industries can be used, like aerospace, defense, automotive, electronics, metal, food and agricultural, pharma, scientific research, and also plastic polymer, furniture, equipment, and more, because new cost of the pandemic, I think we are going to face also the other environments, which is already started to be used robot in our life. So for here, let's see the application with the collaborative robot industry in our life. Actually, I will share here some examples on welding applications, and also which is guided by some artificial intelligence equipments, or cobot, which is transferring some metal parts to a resistant welding machine. And also we can see here there are some assembly application which is driven by UR3 robots, small front, small printed, and sharing the small areas. And also it can be used with the flexible deployment easily. And also collaborative robots can be used also in any other, like automotive, in also food and beverage, packaging, industries in general. Now we are seeing all these kind of applications which is applied by universal robots, cobots. And also we will see in our examples, it is not just for industry. We can also observe that there is during the pandemic, there are so many new requirements occurred easily. These requirements should be fulfilled in a quick, flexible, and easy way. And due to that fact, actually, by using the collaborative robots, for example, face shield is produced. Also, it is used for autonomous robots, with the robots to make the more clean environment. And also, as a lastly, which I can tell you, also the first swap robot, swap application done by cobot in Denmark. And these are some of the examples that you see now in cobot works. And also, let's continue. Let's see what other the examples on these items. Actually, for here, I would like to share with you, Universal Robot is not just to producer of the collaborative robot. We are actually doing also the other important key elements for automation and also its environment, like creating some ecosystem or training and academic section. So here, I would like to go through the two items like Universal Robots Academy and also UR Plus platform, which is provided to make the application simple, fast, and flexible. Let's observe with the last video about this to check its detail. First of all, we will see there UR Academy, which is a platform. It's a free of charge. It's an online and interactive platform. You can go to our website and register it, and you can be a robot programmer in 87 minutes. It's 16 languages available, and after this, you can actually apply and experience. You can set up the robot, and you can make some simple tasks with it. And it doesn't matter what you are doing or what you are dealing with. So we are making the automation accessible for all and any industry and any place. And another environment that I would like to go through is the Universal Robots Plus. This platform is actually online platform, which is for providing simple, flexible, and efficient applications applied by end user or system integrators. So these are the products, application kits or products produced by some other freelancers or automation companies, and it is certified by Universal Robots. And the main aim is to also empowering people and to make the things more easier. And it is really open for everybody. You can check and you can go and you can be one part of it. If you have any creative and valuable idea, connect with the co-host. So, lastly, which I would like to say, exactly the human value and creation is getting more important when we think about in the industry levels, industry 1.0 from 4.0, and now we are going to talk about the 5.0. So what I'm going to do here, I would like to summarize as a Universal Robots, we are empowering people and environment. It's a tool for making the value in our life, and also it is suitable for all sides of business and any industry. And also you can check and you can discover the UR Robots Academy and UR Plus platform to dream, to empower together. And changing is accelerated by pandemic. I think we should take our position in a correct and a good way to also proceed in a sustainable, in a good way. So the last word for my side, we are getting future is collaborative. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kandan. I'm very, it was very impressive presentation, by the way. So many languages that you are, supporting. This is very impressive and very interesting things we hear. And now I'm passing to the second speaker, to Mats Jorgensen. He's the director and partner at Optico. Mats is a co-founder and managing director of Optico Denmark that specializes in developing drones for offshore operations. He graduated from Technical University of Denmark, Global Business Engineering Department. He studied at Polytechnic University in Valencia and Aalborg University in Operation Innovation Management programs. He has more than 20 years of experience in management and technology in various organizations, including Siemens, Creative Site, and University of Southern Denmark. And in 2018, he started to work as director and partner at Optico. So, Mats, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us and for inviting us for this event. In my talk, I will go through first a little bit about me and my experiences with drones, then a bit about Optico and who we are as a company and what we're building. And then I'll comment on the challenges and opportunities we see having arisen here during the COVID-19, and then give some words on how to be prepared for the drone industry. But before I start my talk, please go ahead and show the video of our company. This is the video that we prepared together with one of our biggest customers, DFDS, who's also been our first supporter of the project, and we made a video with them about our project, so you can show that now.
My name is Mads Billesø. I'm project manager in the Innovation and Technology Department in DFDS. In DFDS, we partner up with clever and innovative people from the world around us.
My name is Mads Jørgensen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Optego, and we're here today because we are working on a project with DFDS to support them with drones for operating their vessels. The drone we are building will be part of a system that lives on the ship, and it will be able to autonomously perform a variety of tasks for the crew, as well as autonomously recharge its batteries in between tasks. The first process we're optimizing is the docking procedure. With the click of a button, the captain will be able to position the drone over any corner of the ship. The drone streams a video back to the captain, which helps him dock the ship safely into harbor. There's also a thermographic camera on the drone, which is able to spot any risks around the ship. For instance, if there's a man overboard or a person in a kayak around the ship, we'll be able to see them. All in all, the drone helps make the docking procedure faster, safer, and more reliable. We got in contact with Mads Billesø and DFDS at a reverse Shark Tank, and we were happy to move things forward with the speed that we did. We're also happy to see that DFDS takes us an active part in driving innovation for maritime companies, and that we could be part of that. This is just the first process we want to optimize with our drone system, and we have many more tasks that we want to develop for it in our pipeline. When you have a drone that lives on a ship, it's only imagination that really limits the amount of things you can do with it.
Yes, so thank you for showing that. So that is the project that we're working on with DFDS, who has been one of our biggest supporters through the start of this company. The company was started in 2018. My background is that I'm an engineer with a master in innovation management. I worked in Siemens Wind Power, scouting for new technologies and startups. I was working in California, in Silicon Valley, when I first got my experiences with drones, and I saw all the potential that drone technology had and what drones could do within the wind industry. So when I returned to Denmark, I was looking for people to start a company with, and I met Sebastian and Benjamin, who were also looking for a new partner. And those two guys are some of the best drone pilots you have in the world. They've competed and won Danish championships, qualified for 5th place in the world championships. They know everything there is to know about drones. So together we decided to start a company up, Optego, with the vision to radically improve the maritime sector through innovative drone technology. So drones, that is what we knew about. That is what our core expertise was within, and our expertise. And the maritime sector, offshore wind, shipping industry, that's where we saw a lot of possibilities to change things with drones and use drone systems to go in and solve challenges that you have. It's really interesting to look at that market and to see what kind of problems you can solve there. So the system we decided to building consists of 3 parts. Basically, we have the software. The software is how we analyze the video data, how we use AI and different algorithms to measure, for example, distances between ships and harbor, or to find people who's fallen overboard. But it's also the way we control the drone to fly autonomous routes, to fly in patterns that we define for the drone. Then we have the drone that we're developing. This is a drone that is custom built for the maritime environment. It means it can fly in extra harsh weather conditions, higher wind speeds, and in areas where you have, for example, salt water in the air, salt in the air. Then we're building a charging station. This is the station where the drone will be sitting when it's not being used. From the charging station, the drone is able to fly out and perform its tasks. But in the charging station, the drone is able to charge its batteries, and eventually with a robotic arm, like the one we just saw at Universal Robots, we'll be able to switch off payloads and batteries on the drone, and the drone will be able to basically land and then go out autonomously without a crew doing anything, and go out and perform a task for the crew on board a ship. The applications that we're working on today are these. We're working on a docking procedure, basically helping what will in the future be an autonomous ship that can dock itself from one harbor to another harbor without a crew, dock into harbor. Our system is used to film above the ship, film the area around the ship, and basically give input to the system about whether or not there are any obstacles or how close you are to dock, and if there's anything out of the ordinary that is coming up, like a smaller boat, for example, and then the ship is able to take the necessary actions from that. The second applications we're developing is the search and rescue application, where the drone is able to fly out and find a person in the surface of the water. Then we are working on a package delivery application to basically deliver packages to offshore wind turbines, where it costs a lot if you forget a tool or a spare part and have to do multiple trips. So instead you can use the drone to deliver smaller packages. And we've just started working now also on the third application for oil spills, where we're working to map out larger oil spills in the area around Greenland, so that you can see how much an oil spill has spread and then take the necessary actions after that. And then of course we're also working on inspection solutions. So our system is not just meant for one application, it's meant for many applications. It's meant as a system that you buy and it will become an extra crew member on the ship that basically helps solve some of these different tasks. So where are we in our story? Well, we got momentum in 2018-19. We raised the first investment for the company. We started partnerships with the universities. Actually, we started with the Aarhus University, with Adele, who's also going to talk. We started with FDU and DIS and DTU. We then began development, and this year we will be installing our prototype at DFDS, and will then get ready for the commercialization phase, where we will start selling systems and pilot projects and basically scale the company. And that is basically where we're at now. So this is quite an interesting phase where we're going hopefully soon from startup to scale up for this company. So before this, I was also asked to prepare a few questions about what challenges and opportunities we have had during this COVID-19 times that we've been going through as a company. Some of the bigger challenges that we've had as a company, for sure, has been delays with customers. We've seen some big customers that we've been in talks with having to fire up to 1/3 of their employees. So that, of course, have caused some delays. Luckily, with that customer, we actually were able to close the deal later on, 6 months later, but it did cause some delays. We also had limited access to test sites, which has, of course, also been an issue. So those are some of the challenges that we've seen, basically harder to reach people and harder to close the deals, but we're still able to do it, and we have actually gotten the access to the test sites now. When you look at the opportunities it's created, on the other hand, I think one of the interesting things is that it has become much more commonplace for people to work remotely. Just this conference like the one we're doing right now is happening online, and everyone these days are doing online meetings. So working remotely has become much more popular, especially for white collar work, and it's definitely what I think we will see more of in the future, now that the culture is changing around that. And that's really interesting for a company like ours, because what we're building is basically drone systems to automate and perform tasks remotely. So basically doing blue collar work remotely with a drone system that can perform tasks, so you don't have to be at site using drones to autonomously go out and do different jobs. So for us, this whole mindset switch about that you actually don't have to be there as a person, but you can do jobs remotely, is really interesting, and that's something that we think is changing also now that people kind of have been forced into this situation where everyone is working remotely. And what I would say, in order to get prepared for the robotics industry and understand that and the drone industry, is that there's a lot of things happening in this industry. We've seen it with Universal Robots and robotic arms over the last 15 years, what has happened there, and I think drones are the next wave that we will see coming up like this. This is basically also why we decided to create our business a little bit based off the same business model that Universal Robots have, right, of having a platform to do many applications, because we are in a market that will see exponential growth, where we'll see drones all of a sudden taking over many, many different applications. So we need a platform in the world like the one we're developing in Apotego that can solve many, many different jobs. So I think that's definitely one of the things, is that drones are reaching a point now where they're becoming able to solve a lot of problems that, if you go back 20, 30 years, was not even possible, but today it is. So we'll see a lot of new things happening. things also changing on an EU level. Legalization is changing, so you're able to fly beyond visual line of sight. Autonomous flights, these kind of things are also being discussed on a higher EU level. So that's really, really interesting, I think. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much. Yeah, your presentation has also many aspects to discuss. I think that questions are coming from Q&A screen. And passing through the third speaker to Dr. Erdal Kayacan, the Director of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Area Lab in Aarhus University. Dr. Kayacan received a PhD degree in Electrical and Electronic Engineering at Boğaziçi University, Istanbul, after finishing his postdoctoral research at KU Leuven at the Division of Mechatronics, Biostatistics and Sensors in 2014. He worked in Nanyang Technological University at the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering as an assistant professor for 4 years. Currently, he's pursuing his research in Aarhus University at the Department of Engineering as an associate professor. So the stage is yours, Dr. Kayacan.
Thanks a lot, Leila. Today, I will talk about smaller, faster, and more agile aerial robots. So I'm the leader of Artificial Intelligence in Robotics Lab at Aarhus University. And I joined this meeting from Aarhus, which is the second biggest city in Denmark. I will start with the first video that, can we play the first video? A skilled human pilot that they are trained in a very long time, and they spend so much time to be that much skilled and navigating in a car park that they are flying so fast. And we see the mind-blowing capabilities from human pilots, because we have a perfect sensing system in which we are using our eyes. They are functioning as a stereo vision camera. We have a brain that is a perfect hardware for computation, and we have also some cognitive capabilities for decision making and planning. The question in our research is that, can we get the same level of autonomy that these skilled human pilots have when we fly very fast and when we make agile maneuvers with the drones, and can we do it fully autonomous? So can we do it fully on board? And of course, we will design smaller drones for some practical applications for practical problems in real life. So now I can switch to my slides. What is our motivation in robotics? Our motivation is going to be explained in the next slide. So when we attend a robotics conference, I think 90% of the presentations can be classified into 3 groups. The first one is the control, second one is perception, third one is planning. Actually, as human beings, we do the same thing. Imagine that you just walk into a dark room. The first thing you do is you switch on the lights because you want your eyes to be operational. So this is your perception system. And then you're checking where you can walk. So this is your planning. And then you start walking. So this is your control. Or in other words, it's the action loop. We do the same things in robotics as well. But there is a paradigm shift with the advancement in AI, artificial intelligence technologies. So we have another loop, which are understand, adapt, interact, and learn. So we want our robots to understand their environment. We want them to adapt the changing working conditions. We want them to learn from their past experience and also from from their environment, and we want them to interact with their environment. There are lots of UAV applications in these days, law enforcement, sports, transportation, agriculture. One of the most interesting ones is done by a non-profit organization, Robotics. They are using drones to reduce some disease in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. They have a big problem with the mosquitoes. They cause dengue fever, and they are using drones to neutralize the mosquitoes. According to a report published by Goldman Sachs, so far human beings have been spending so much money for military applications of drones, but the trend is towards more consumer and commercial drones in the future. And when we see how much money, how much budget we have in the drone market, we see that it's increasing, and in the near future we are going to spend more money. That means we are going to see drones in our lives. What kind of sensor do we have? We have GPS, IMU, and laser. So as we know, I'm sure you have also experienced when you are driving in a city center, time to time you lose the GPS signal. Actually, that's due to the shadow effect of the tall buildings in the city center. So GPS is a kind of unreliable sensor because we have a shadow effect in the city center, and also it's not very precise. We have IMU, so we can measure the accelerations, and we can integrate the accelerations, and we can get the speed, we can integrate the speed, and we can get the position of the drone. But this is also unreliable because this is subject to accumulated errors. Lasers are perfect, but they are really heavy, expensive, and they need post-processing, actually tedious post-processing algorithms. So the most advantageous sensor seems to be the camera because it's cheap, it's cost effective, and also it's accurate, and then it's lightweight. So the trend in robotics is to use only camera if possible. And we are also doing it in our research. I have borrowed this slide from Professor Vijay Kumar. He says that he shows all the robots that he developed in his lab, and he says the heavier drone we have, the more autonomy we have. But actually, we want the drones to be lightweight, but to be more autonomous. What is the way to do this? So you can say we can increase the flight duration, for instance, by adding more batteries to the drone. Actually, this is not going to work because batteries will bring you additional payload, and the payload will decrease your flight duration. Unfortunately, there is not much progress happening in the battery technology side. In today's lithium-ion batteries, we have 200, 300 watt-hour per kilos, and this number is not going to change in the near future. And that's definitely not enough for our drones, that we can fly maximum 20 minutes or 30 minutes with our smaller size commercial drones. Is it effective? Is it acceptable? Actually, that's not acceptable. I'm just going to compare it with our fat. So our fat has 10,000 watt-hour per kilos. So that means the best battery we can build today is much, much worse than the human fat. So there is a way to go in the battery direction. Okay, there is no hope from battery technology. Then what shall we do? Then we are going to design extremely effective algorithms, fast algorithms, that we will try to finalize our work as quick as possible. So we need agile drones. And one of the best benchmarks in this goal is autonomous drone racing. So the question is, can we fly better and faster and also safer than a skilled human pilot using only onboard processing, of course using AI techniques? There are some problems in autonomous drone racing, which is, for instance, instance, lack of modeling when you fly so fast, and there are latencies on your sensors and algorithms. But there is one interesting problem, which is motion blur. When you fly so fast, your camera cannot really see as well as it was seeing when you are flying slower, and it is losing the features. Actually, we also have this problem as human beings. When you drive with a car, if you just take your head out of your car and then try to look at the lanes on the highway, you will see that you're not going to lane, but you will see a continuous lane because of the motion blur in your eyes. So we also have this problem in autonomous drone racing. Lockheed Martin has decided to invest lots of money into this problem, and 2 years ago they started a competition that the first team gets 2 million in cash. But due to the coronavirus problem, last year they canceled the competition, but I'm sure they will start it again. What is our motivation in autonomous drone racing? We believe that the technologies we develop in this problem will be transferred to other domains. For instance, mining. In a mining application, your drone has to finalize the task as quick as possible because simply you have limited battery power. And also it can help people after an earthquake. And this is also the same problem, that you have to do fast. You have to do your work so fast. And also helping people after a nuclear power plant accident. Actually, this happened in Fukushima, and people drones, but of course they were manual. They were not autonomous drones. What we did in our lab is we designed a convolutional neural network. That neural network can detect the center of the autonomous drone racing gates. It can also detect the distance and orientation of the gate. Of course, they are all relative with respect to the drone. But on the blue arrow here, the text says we are using fisheye image. What is the reason for using a fisheye image? Because we have a better field of view with the fisheye image. In real life problems, the obstacles are pretty close to each other. So when you use a standard lens, you don't really see the whole obstacle in front of you. So for instance, for such a gate, when you are closer than 2 meters, you start seeing the gate partially. But when we use a fisheye image, then we can see the whole gate. That is pretty big advantage. So this is our whole architecture, that we have a perception system, we have a navigation system, we have the control system, and we are using advanced AI techniques for perception. I'm going to show you a video now. Can we play the second video, which is the video from our tests in our lab? In this video, you can see that the drone is able to finalize the task as quick as possible. By the way, I don't see the video, but I hope you're seeing the video. So in the first lab, the drone is finalizing the lab without any change. In the second lab, my PhD student is going into the picture, and he is changing the location of the gate first. That we are trying to show that actually we are not memorizing the background, so we are able to detect any gate at any place. In the third lab, the student is changing the orientation of the gate, and this orientation change is pretty significant. Actually, it's around 40 degrees. So now we show that a sophisticated AI algorithm can detect the autonomous drone racing gates with any position, with any background, with any orientation. And in our tests, the gates are pretty different from each other. They have different heights, they have different size, and also even their leg colors are different. So the algorithm developed is pretty robust. I'm now showing you the robustness of our AI algorithm. When we change the position of the gate, actually the accuracy is 100%. But when we change the orientation of the gate, the accuracy is a little bit going down. What is the reason for this? This is because when we change the orientation of the gate, the amount of pixels that we see in an image is going to be reduced. Because if you imagine a gate that is 90 degrees to your drone, actually nothing is visible. You cannot see the gate at all. And when it is 45 degrees, more or less, you are getting half of the information from the image. So that is expected that when we increase the orientation of the gate, the accuracy is going down. And I'm going to show you the last video. The last video shows that not every time everything goes well. Most probably now you're seeing some crash videos from our lab. We are spending so much time to repair our drones after all these crashes, and most of the time we are showing you only the perfect videos that everything works perfectly, but actually in real life nothing is perfect and we are having so much problems. But when we solve these problems, the new problems arise and then we are solving them, and this is an ongoing activity in our research. Yes, thanks a lot for giving me this chance.
Yes, thank you very much. Another inspirational talk. So far we listened to the big company, startup, and the university. It has been very inspirational for the industries. Now let's listen to the cluster perspective, how a regional network helps startups, companies, and universities to collaborate to improve their R&D and innovation capacities. So our last speaker is Engel, Business Development Manager of Odense Robotics Regional Sonderborg Hub. He graduated from Aalborg University, Political Science and International Relations in 1999. Bonke has more than 20 years of experience from the Lego Group and the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including postings in the Danish embassies in Argentina and Bulgaria. In 2021, Bonke Engel joined Odense Robotics as the new Business Development Manager of Odense Robotics Regional Sonderborg Hub. Bonke is responsible for initiating and developing the hub in a close collaboration with Sonderborg Workstrat. A key task will be strengthening a regional network for companies engaged in robotics, automation, and drone tech. So the stage is yours, Bonke.
Thank you so much, Leila, for your kind introduction, and thank you so much for the invitation. Odense Robotics is the national cluster, as you said, for robot automation and drones. We are here to ensure that Denmark has a vibrant robot automation and drone industry. We do that by driving innovation and accelerating sustainable development throughout the industry. I would like to show you a short video illustrating what we do and how we aim to create value add for our members and the external environment.
At this very moment, hundreds of robot, automation and drone companies across Denmark are creating new solutions for industries and societies worldwide, yet their potential is far from realised. Now it's time to provide these companies with the best possible conditions for growth. Time to bring entrepreneurs, talent and research scientists closer together. Time to make Denmark an even bigger, better robot nation. Odense's position as a global centre for robotics development will provide the starting point for Denmark's national robotics cluster. Key learnings from Odense's successful setup and growing industry will be extended to companies across the country. The National Robotics Cluster will also build on the country's world-class innovation partnerships and on the strong commercial and academic activities across Denmark. Smart production, tech, mechatronics, autonomous systems, and much more. A national setup of local partners in Aalborg, Aarhus, Southern Jutland, and the Greater Copenhagen area will support the cluster headquarters in Odense, delivering services and networks that will enable companies to leverage synergies, create partnerships, and expand knowledge to gain even greater recognition nationally and internationally. Now is the time to gather the country's frontrunners in technology, our profitable entrepreneurs, our innovators for a better world. As members of one national cluster, we can go stronger together and make Denmark an even bigger, better robot nation.
Thank you so much. As Annette Galskjøt also said in the beginning, within the latest 10 years, Denmark has really created a leading position globally in this field. And the Danish robot industry has developed into one of the most promising growth industries in Denmark. But we also know that if we are to leverage this very big growth potential fully, it's of utmost importance that the full robot information and drone ecosystem have the best possible conditions for growth and technological development. On this slide, I've included some of the most present challenges the ecosystem faces. Increasing demand for technologies and solutions, fierce global competition, and one could also add speed with which these two occur. But we also know that startups can realize their growth potential faster and more successful with the right help and by being in the right environment. That industry know-how and relations make good business even stronger, and that company visibility is key to finding the right partners and generating business. So one could argue that there is a contradiction between the challenges and our knowledge, between being open for collaboration and protecting innovative ideas. But that's also where Untitled Robotics has an important role to play. Trying to change my slide here, next one. On this slide, I will show you that we bring the ecosystem together. We create the network and initiate dialogues which generates trust and participation in joint innovation projects between companies and research institutions, nationally as well as across borders. Internationally, we organize joint participation in fairs, and we have quite good track record in organizing innovation sprints together with international end users such as DFDS, Lockheed Martin, and BMW. As you can also see on the slide, there is now more than 300 companies operating in this area, generating more than 8,500 jobs in Denmark. And we are, being a national cluster, now rolling also out the establishing of hubs in Denmark. The first one we established in the southern part of Denmark, in Sønderborg, and we are sooner this year establishing also hubs in Aarhus, Aalborg, and Copenhagen. To me, there is no doubt that there is a great untapped potential also in the international cooperation, both when it comes to the cluster-to-cluster cooperation, but also in regards to engaging more directly with international manufacturing companies on innovation sprints based on concrete technological challenges. Because we know our members, companies, and knowledge partners, and we can identify which of these could be potential problem solvers, thus saving time and money, and with a concrete problem-solving idea to the specific challenge. So, from our perspective, we look into a super interesting and hopefully soon to come post-COVID-19 time, with an increased appetite for robot automation and drones technologies in the European countries because of the disruption of their supply chain. But actually, we see equally strong interest from all around Europe also. Robot automation and drones are definitely here to be. We all know that. Many have realized that robots are not here to take away our jobs, and focus is shifting to how robots, automation, and drones can become our best non-human colleague. I believe the cobot journey is illustrating this, not only in an improved efficiency lens, but also due to the overall demographic development, as well as an increased focus on the SDGs and the full desire to improve working conditions. So, in short, we are indeed looking into a very exciting future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, we are finishing our first round, and I have some questions, and there are, I'm doing the last check for the questions arrived. And the first question is about what kind of a strategy of cooperation do you have with startups and confirming a strategy regard? Oh, this is for me, Dan Aybars. Thank you very much. It's indeed good question, because we are a bridge, as a target, we are a bridge for between Europe and Turkey on innovation. And also we are facilitating collaboration between EU and Turkey. And at this stage, we are open to collaborations and facilitate collaborations on innovation, on AI and robotics between Danish and Turkish institutions. So at this stage, so far what we have learned from today, I would like to ask to all of you, to all speakers, about their next research plans, and how do they plan to handle with risks. For example, in universal robots, they have risks in human-centric issues. And in Optico and in Aarhus University, they have been working with and ask them two questions at the same time. How do they handle risk? And if there are some future research on this, and what do they, what kind of collaborations or projects they are planning for this? Thank you. So the first question, yeah. So the first question.
Ms. Leila, I had the connection problem, I think so. I couldn't get your question. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, sure. I was telling that that your presentations and talks are very inspirational, but I see, for example, in yours, in Universal Robots, that you are working with robots, cobots, and then there are some human-centric risks. And how do you handle this, or what kind of research projects or collaborational projects you are planning for handling the risks? Very shortly, not in detail.
Okay, of course. Thank you very much. I got your question very clearly. Actually, the collaborative robots environment is very open to everybody, and also robotics clusters, and there are so many companies also working on different kind of new values on this platform. And one of it, for example, actually this risk minimized by ourselves. I mean, to informing the user what they should care about this. And also there are so many new platforms like artificial intelligence also to don't get any problems by using this kind of equipments to be safely. So there are also we are trying to, on the academic side, I mean, as our platform, to giving whole materials, whole informations, and we're trying to also inform our partners how they should implement and how they should use it. And also we are also supporting with this environment with some artificial intelligence tools, which is also can be seen all on our UR Plus platforms, ecosystems. So there are so many ways to do this. So we are using these tools and the knowledge to apply and handle these issues.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, Matt?
Yes, I think when you develop new technology, there's of course always a lot of risk to consider. I think one of our big advantages within the drone industry is that my two co-founders, Benjamin and Sebastian, has basically been working with these kind of things since the beginning of drones in Denmark already 10 years ago. when the Danish Traffic Ministry was making the first rules and regulations on the drone area. They were called in as experts and helped guide there from that point on. So we've been having a lot of impact and been involved in it quite a lot over the last 10 years of how these things should be navigated from the perspective of drones, at least, when you fly drones, and what kind of risk that comes with that and that technology. So that's one thing, is we have a lot of experience with it, and we do put a lot of emphasis in it also in our company, because we're working with big companies like maritime companies, ship owners, and wind turbine owners, and one of their biggest things is always about safety and whether or not things work. If you have a drone and it flies into a wind turbine or a ship, it can of course be catastrophic. So everything has to be in order. So it has quite a lot of focus for us and attention from our side, that we always make sure to do those things to the best of our ability and to the best that can be done.
Yes, thank you. So, Dalbey?
Can I? Yes, actually, I 100% agree with Mads. The biggest problem here is the safety, because when the robots, no matter what kind of robots they are, when they operate together with the humans, then safety is a big problem. Actually, in the sophisticated AI problems, like in a perception problem for autonomous driving, we easily come to the accuracy level of 99%. But actually, the last 1% accuracy is not really obtained so easily. And then when we design all these systems and then put them near the human beings, we want them to be 100% safe. That is a big challenge. As you know, in a commercial aircraft, the possibility of having an accident is 1 over 10 million. And that's why we call them as a safe device. Then we are not scared of having being in an aircraft. But when you talk about, for instance, aerial taxi with a drone, can you really get this kind of safety level? That's pretty challenging, actually, because the payload is pretty limited in a drone.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And Bonki, can you say some words about the companies that you are in the hub, that you're supporting them, or with risk issues, or what kind of collaborations or research are there in between, or there is such a rules and actions within your network on dealing with these issues or focusing in these issues?
I think maybe if I may, Leila, I would like to get up a bit higher and take it from an overall perspective, because talking about risk and talking about technological development, there is indeed a challenge, and especially now we're seeing the speed in which the technological development is actually developing, meaning that the regulative framework has difficulties in keeping up the momentum. And that is indeed a risk, because either we can end up slowing down the technological development because we're too afraid, or we can actually also go the other way, make it too wide and not having thought about all the risk thoroughly. So it is definitely one of the key issue when we're talking about technological development as such. Talking about maybe a bit down to risk when we operate in regards to our companies, I think maybe I would like to zoom in on our startup hub, because that's where we really want to make a safe environment for startups, where they can practice and learn and cope with the risk, and learn from others how to actually act, having a risk around them. And I believe that actually the startup hub in Odense Robotics is one of the greatest successes in Odense Robotics. Throughout the years, we have had 25 companies through the hub. The vast majority, 23, are still ongoing, and they have created 150 new jobs and attracted a lot of investment to them. So it's really a illustration, I think, that once you are building the right environment, you are actually also able to cope with the risk, even though you are small.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Thank you very much. So I have, I would like to ask, oh, there is another question, I think. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kandan, yes. The
Yeah,
questions
I would
are
like
coming
to-
from our group. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yes,
exactly.
yeah.
So I would like to add also to our valuable speakers, actually for the cobot also technologically, we had some safety functions, like we call the 17 safety functions, and due to the risk assessment, which can be done also third parties, and also as I mentioned, it can be used also UR plus equipment, artificial intelligence tools. These assessments has been done, and due to the needs, also these adjustments can be done and can be adjusted and can be used with safety, and it should be also certified to using the collaborative robots or robots technology which safe with human by side by. So I would like to also in general one specific information how we are getting these safety conditions in the real life with these specialties.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's check if there is another question. No. So my last question is about how we act together. Thinking that we have so many possibilities, Banco knows it, on funding or on collaboration facilities or some network, or how can we create a Danish-Turkish ecosystem that companies and universities can act together and collaborate and do research? Because as far as I know, I mean, Aarhus and Optico are already doing collaborative projects together. They are doing research together, which is very good. But how can we do this internationally between Turkish companies and Danish companies or universities together? That there are so many funding possibilities, like innovation funding Denmark, some European Commission Horizon Europe program. And also there might be some other collaborations with national fundings between the different countries. But do you have any to act together? Do you have any idea in your mind that you believe that Turkish and Danish organizations can foster something together, can conquer something together? So starting from our first speaker, yes, that
So,
you are already here.
yeah, of course. Actually, how we are acting on this? First of all, as I mentioned, we have the ecosystem. And this ecosystem also giving the part of anyone else. It doesn't matter it's a university or freelancer or a company. So this is a platform. We are also empowering to make the faster applications, safer applications, and set up applications in real life. So this platform also can be joined by anyone else. It's a free of charge, and also only to have some idea or dream. And also if they also combine with these ideas. So as a universal robots also, or our other partners come together and we develop something else. And it is certified, and these new artificial intelligence or equipments in automation world, we are adding the value in this area. So on this basement, as a universal robots, I think we can also empower the people, especially in Turkey and the territory that we are also managing from Turkey here, Middle East and also Greece. We try to also inform about these possibilities to get some ideas or getting some of the new values in our environment, because we know these products also add very important, let's say, crucial parts of the our technology.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll continue. Yes. So I think from Aptego's side, we're always open to making partnerships and collaborations. That's basically how our business is structured. Is that we have two types of collaborations that we are looking for. One is with the people who will use our system, customers basically, who have some kind of need where a drone can go in and an autonomous system or drone system, if that is installed, can solve that need. That's one part. The other part is we're looking always for partners that can help us develop new applications and can help us further develop the product. So we have the hardware, we have the platform, we've developed some applications, but what's interesting to us is also to talk with other partners who have other ideas for applications that could be installed for our system. So basically software developers and people like that. So those are the kind of people that we are really interested in talking with from that table point of view. Then I also want to say that I think what's also important to remember when you look at new technology like drone technology, emerging new technologies, is that it takes time. It takes time to mature for these technologies, and the projects like this can take time, and that's just important to be prepared for. And then, of course, also as a small startup, where there's money is where we go, right? So when there's a way to do pilot projects, paid projects, stuff like that, then we're always interested. So that is basically you can say the torch that we're following. But we're always open to talk with companies. But what is important also, is to remember this thing about that it takes time, and especially for bigger companies, that it does cost money to do new technology and new innovation.
Yeah. And yeah.
I think the most common way of collaborating is the EU projects, that Turkey can be a partner in these projects. And I have been collaborating with some Turkish universities and companies in these projects.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But in addition to this one, I think COVID-19 has taught something to us, that being in the same country is not a big issue. In the last 1 year, I have been collaborating with Optego, and we are based in Denmark, and I think face to face I met with them only once. So that's something totally new to us. So really collaborating with someone doesn't mean that you have to be in the same country. You can remotely work together using these online tools, and perhaps we and also the partners in Turkey, we must be more initiative to start this kind of research activities.
Yes. And the last speaker is Bonki. So we have to do something, Bonki. What do you think?
I think we're doing quite a lot already. But I think, to me, a key cornerstone here is really sharing the stories, describing who made it, why they did, but also describing those who are on the way to making it, and those who also not necessarily did it. Because as Mandela said, I never lose, either I win or I learn. And I really thoroughly believe that this is an approach and a mindset that we should go into. So creating these safe spaces for entrepreneurs to kind of grow and to develop and to be brave. I think that's the key thing. We can do that nationally, but we can definitely also do that across borders. And I think maybe just my last point would be that we've been talking about this impressive technological development, and it is really impressive how fast and it is progressing and how far we are right now. I think the mindset has definitely also changed quite in a positive way towards being much more open towards these new technologies. But I think a key point here is also the skill set. Not necessarily only for those who are now actually working with these technologies in the companies and innovating the new products of tomorrow, but also actually our children and the next generation who are to actually get into this area and take it from where we leave it. And I think that's a very important thing to not only accept that now we have almost changed our mindset, but now we should also be focusing on how do we actually change the broader skill sets for the generations of tomorrow.
Yes, thank you very much. So from what I learned today, that there are billions of possibilities to collaborate and to enhance our minds and research by acting together. So today's talk contributed a lot to sustainable development goals that Nordic Talk also addressed. I would like to summarize it because it's very important, I think. The number 7 is affordable and clean energy. The goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. 11, sustainable cities and communities. And 17, partnerships for the goals. So the star of today is 17th goal, the partnerships for the goals, I think, because there are lots of possibilities to do. And I would like to announce here, not an announcement, but also a call for all to initiate a new network between Danish and Turkish organizations on robotics and AI. What do you think? And I think we can quote this in our press release that we are all willing to do this, and we are ready to initiate such a collaborative network between Danish and Turkish organizations. And checking that there is no any other question from question and answers site and from the audience, I would like to thank you all speakers, to our distinguished speakers, really very nice, very inspiring talks that they had, and would like to close our session here with the remarks saying, let's act together. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.